My family laughed when I chose art school. They didn't laugh when my painting sold for $500,000. They say follow your passion. They don't tell you what happens when your passion becomes your family's punchline. When I nervously announced at dinner that I'd been accepted to Ravenshore Art Institute, I expected congratulations, maybe pride, at least acknowledgement. Instead, my cousins burst out laughing. My uncle asked if I wanted to be unemployed. My parents exchanged that look. The one that says this is a phase we need to stop. Then I overheard my mother whisper to my aunt, she'll grow out of this silly hobby. That night changed everything. They cut off my college fund, forced me to choose between their approval and my dream, watched me walk out with nothing but an acceptance letter and stubborn hope. But here's what they didn't know. While they were laughing at my childish dream, I was about to create something that would sell for $500,000. This is the story of how family mockery became my fuel, how a torn portfolio became my catalyst, and how the girl they called foolish became the artist they couldn't ignore. They laughed when I chose art school. They stopped laughing when my painting changed everything. Hey everyone! Before we dive into today's story, let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. Drop your city or country, we love connecting with our global community. If you're enjoying our content, please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss our amazing stories. Share this with friends chasing creative dreams. Now, let's get into Aria's incredible journey. I'm sitting at my family's dinner table, my acceptance letter from Ravenshore Art Institute folded in my sweaty palm, waiting for the right moment to share my news. Around me, my parents, aunt, uncle, and 3 cousins are finishing dessert, laughing about something I missed while I was gathering courage. Mom, Dad, I have some news, I say, my voice shakier than I want it to be. The conversation stops. Everyone turns to look at me. I got accepted to Ravenshore Art Institute. Full acceptance. I start in September. Silence. Then my cousin Marcus bursts out laughing. Then Tyler joins. Then Emma. Art school? Marcus manages between laughs. Are you serious? My uncle Richard sets down his coffee cup, shaking his head with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Aria, art school? So you want to be unemployed? Live in your parents' basement until you're 40? More laughter around the table. My father clears his throat. Aria, art is a nice hobby. But it's not a career. You're smart. You could do business, medicine, law, something practical. But I want to be an artist. I've always wanted. Sweetheart, everyone wants to be an artist when they're young. My mother's voice is gentle but dismissive. But then we grow up and face reality. Bills don't get paid by pretty pictures. My aunt nods in agreement. My friend's daughter went to art school. She's now managing a coffee shop. $30,000 in debt. I try to defend my choice, to explain that Ravenshore is prestigious, that I've been preparing for this my whole life, that art matters to me more than anything. But they're not listening. They're already moving on to other topics, dismissing my announcement like it was a joke I told that didn't land. I excuse myself and leave the table, retreating to the bathroom where I can breathe. Through the door, I hear my mother's voice, she'll grow out of this silly hobby. Give her a semester and she'll be begging to transfer to something sensible. 2 days later, my parents call me into the living room for a serious conversation. They sit on the couch, united front, while I stand awkwardly by the doorway. We've been thinking about your announcement, my father begins. And we've decided we can't support this path. What do you mean? We mean we won't pay for art school. We saved money for your education, yes, but for a real degree. Business, economics, pre-med, something with a future. He crosses his arms. If you insist on this art fantasy, you'll have to fund it yourself. My stomach drops. You're cutting me off? We're setting a boundary, my mother corrects. We love you, but we won't enable a mistake that could ruin your life. Choose a practical major, and we'll support you fully. Choose art, and you're on your own. This is my dream. You're asking me to give up. We're asking you to grow up, my father interrupts. Dreams are for children. Adults make responsible choices. I look between them, searching for any sign of flexibility, any hint of belief in me. There's none. Then I guess I'm on my own, I say quietly. My mother sighs. Aria, don't be dramatic. I'm not. I'm making a choice. And if you won't support it, I'll find a way myself. I walk out of their house that afternoon with my acceptance letter, my art supplies, and nothing else. No college fund. No safety net. No family backing. Just belief in something they couldn't see. I find a tiny attic room above a cafe called The Daily Grind. The rent is cheap because the ceiling slopes so low I can't stand up straight on one side, and there's no proper kitchen, just a hot plate and a mini fridge. But it's mine. I take 3 part-time jobs, barista at the cafe downstairs, retail at a bookstore, weekend shifts at a frame shop. Between work and sleep, I barely have time to breathe, let alone create art. One night, exhausted and doubting everything, I'm unpacking my few belongings when I find my old sketchbook from high school. I flip through pages of drawings, some good, some terrible, all filled with passion. A note falls out. My grandmother's handwriting, Aria, paint the world as only you see it. No one else can. I believe in you always. Grandma Rose. Tears stream down my face. She died 2 years ago, but her words feel like they're meant for exactly this moment. I tape the note to my slanted wall where I can see it every morning. If no one else believes in me, I'll believe in myself enough for everyone. My first day at Ravenshore Art Institute is terrifying and exciting in equal measure. The building itself is beautiful, all exposed brick and natural light, art displayed on every wall. In my first drawing class, the professor asks us to sketch from a live model. I pull out my supplies, cheap charcoal pencils and recycled paper I bought at a discount store. The student next to me, a girl with perfectly styled hair and expensive-looking materials, notices my setup. "Are you serious with that kindergarten kit?" she says loudly, causing several students to look over. My face burns. It's what I could afford. Maybe you should have thought about that before coming to a real art school. She smirks. I'm Nova Reyes, by the way. Try to keep up. The professor, a stern woman named Professor Chen, observes the interaction silently. Let's begin, she says. 45 minutes. Show me what you see. I try to focus despite my embarrassment, despite Nova's occasional glances and smirks, despite my cheap materials that smudge more than I want. I draw anyway. Pour everything into the charcoal, frustration, determination, raw emotion. When time's up, Professor Chen walks around reviewing everyone's work. She stops at mine for a long time. This, Professor Chen says, pointing at my rough sketch, is raw talent. The class goes silent. Nova's confident smile falters. The technique needs refinement, yes. But the emotion, the movement, the life in these lines, she looks at me directly. This is what art school is for. To take raw talent and shape it into mastery. Well done. I can barely breathe. Someone here sees what I see. After class, Professor Chen pulls me aside. I noticed your materials. Financial hardship? I nod, embarrassed. Here. She hands me a flyer. The Weston Scholarship. Full tuition coverage plus a stipend for supplies. Applications due next month. I think you should apply. Thank you, I manage. I will. As I leave, I notice Nova lingering in the hallway, clearly having overheard. She approaches me with a tight smile. Congrats on the compliment. Beginner's luck, probably. Thanks, I say neutrally, not taking the bait. But I see something flash in her eyes. Competition. Threat. She wants that scholarship. And now she sees me as competition. I spend the next 3 weeks building my scholarship portfolio, my best pieces, my strongest work, everything I've created that proves I belong here. The day before the submission deadline, I arrive at school early to print my portfolio presentation. But when I open my locker, my heart stops. My portfolio is gone. I search everywhere, my bag, the classroom, the studio, the hallways. Nothing. Panic sets in. Without my portfolio, I can't apply for the scholarship. Without the scholarship, I can't afford to stay. Then, walking past the dumpster behind the building, I see something that makes me want to scream. My drawings. Torn into pieces. Thrown away like garbage. I pull them out with shaking hands. Every piece is destroyed, ripped, crumpled, some with paint smeared across them deliberately. Someone did this on purpose. I'm taking photos of the damage when I hear footsteps. Nova walks by, coffee in hand, and stops when she sees me. Oh no, she says, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. Did something happen to your work? She's smirking. Barely hiding it. I take a photo of her too. Just in case. I show Professor Chen the photos, my destroyed work, the torn pieces, everything. I expect her to be outraged, to investigate, to punish whoever did this. Instead, she studies the photos calmly and says, prove them wrong. What? Someone wanted to stop you. Prove them wrong. Make something better. She checks her watch. You have 48 hours until the scholarship committee meets. Can you rebuild your portfolio? In 2 days? That's impossible? Then don't do it. Or do it and show everyone what you're made of. Your choice. She leaves me standing there with my destroyed dreams and an impossible deadline. I go back to my attic room, set up every light I have, and start drawing. I don't sleep. I barely eat. I just create. New pieces, better pieces, work fueled by heartbreak and determination and pure stubborn refusal to quit. 47 hours later, I submit a rebuilt portfolio that's stronger than the original. The scholarship announcement happens during a full class assembly. Everyone's there, students, professors, administrators. Nova sits in the front row, confidently texting on her phone. She's certain she's won. The dean takes the podium. The Weston Scholarship is awarded to one student who demonstrates not only exceptional talent, but resilience, dedication, and genuine passion for their craft. Nova straightens in her seat, ready to stand. This year's recipient is Aria Cole. My name echoes through the room. Gasps. Applause. Confused murmurs. Nova's face goes from confident to shocked to furious in seconds. I walk to the stage in a daze, accept the certificate, shake hands with administrators who congratulate me warmly. Nova storms out before the applause ends. I walk home that evening feeling lighter than I have in months. Full tuition. Supply stipend. Validation that I'm not crazy for believing in this. My phone buzzes with a text from my mother, come home. We need to talk. I arrive at my parents' house the next afternoon. The whole family is there, parents, aunt, uncle, cousins, all wearing forced smiles. Aria. We're so glad you came. My mother hugs me like nothing happened. We heard about your scholarship, my father says. That's actually impressive. They gesture for me to sit. The dining table is set with coffee and pastries, a peace offering. We've been talking, my mother continues, and we realize we may have been too harsh. We just want what's best for you. Right, my uncle adds. And if art is really what you want, well, we should support that. It sounds like an apology. But something feels wrong. So, we talked to your father's company, my mother says brightly. They have a clerical position opening. Data entry, filing, very easy. You could do it part-time while you're in school. Build some practical work experience. You know, a backup plan. There it is. A backup plan for when art doesn't work out, I say flatly. Not when it doesn't work out. Just, in case. For security. My father smiles. You're talented, honey, but art is unpredictable. This way, you're covered either way. They're not apologizing. They're not supporting my choice. They're still trying to steer me away from art. I'm not taking a backup plan job, I say calmly. I'm going to be an artist. A real one. That's not a hobby or a phase. That's my career. Aria, be reasonable? I am being reasonable. You're the ones who can't see it. I stand up. Thank you for the scholarship, congratulations. I have work to do. I leave before they can argue. 2 weeks later, an email arrives that makes my hands shake. Dear Ms. Cole, Professor Chin has recommended you for the Emerging Artists Collective Showcase, hosted by the Halston Gallery District. This event features promising new talent and is attended by collectors, gallery owners, and industry professionals. Entry fee, $750. Please confirm your interest by Friday. $750. That's more than my rent. But this opportunity could change everything. I pick up extra shifts. Skip meals. Sell some of my textbooks. Do portrait sketches at the cafe for tips, charging whatever people will pay, $10, $20, whatever. One evening, a quiet man in his 50s watches me sketch a customer's daughter. He doesn't say a word, just observes intently. When I finish the portrait, he stands to leave. That was beautiful, he says, handing me a folded bill. Don't quit. Your gift is rare. He walks out before I can thank him. I unfold the bill. It's $200. A note is attached, for the entry fee. You're going to make it. I scrape together the full $750 and submit my application to the showcase. Days pass. I check my email obsessively. Finally, a response arrives. Thank you for your submission. Unfortunately, your style is too unconventional for our current event theme. We encourage you to continue developing your unique voice and apply again in the future. Rejection. I stare at the email, feeling every ounce of fight drain out of me. Maybe my family was right. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe art school was a mistake. I delete the email and close my laptop. That evening, the cafe owner stops me during my shift. Hey, someone came looking for you earlier. Left a card. She hands me a business card, Liam Aldridge, Halston Square Gallery. Loving the story so far? Drop a comment with your location. Are you watching from Sydney, Lagos, Montreal, or somewhere else? We read every single one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, Give us a thumbs up if you're rooting for Aria, and share this with someone who's chasing a creative dream. Turn on notifications so you never miss these incredible stories. Now, back to the action. The man returns to the cafe 3 days later. Aria Cole, he asks, approaching my table during my break. Yes. I'm Liam Aldridge. I own a gallery in Halston Square. He gestures to the booth where I sketched the portrait. I watched you work last week. Your technique is impressive, but more importantly, your subjects come alive. That's rare. Thank you, I say, not sure where this is going. Do you have more work I could see? Yes. But it's mostly sketches and class projects. Nothing professional. That's fine. Bring what you have to my gallery Saturday afternoon. 2 p.m. He leaves before I can fully process what just happened. Saturday, I arrive at Halston Square Gallery with a folder of my best pieces, wearing my only nice outfit and trying not to shake. The gallery is beautiful, white walls, perfect lighting, expensive art displayed like treasures. Liam greets me warmly and leads me to his office. I spread out my work nervously. Sketches, charcoal drawings, a few small paintings. He studies each piece in silence. I can't read his expression. Finally, he looks up. Your work needs to be seen. What? I want to give you space in my gallery. Small section, just to start. See how people respond. Interested? I can barely form words. Yes. Absolutely yes. Opening night of my first gallery display is both thrilling and terrifying. My work occupies a small corner section, 10 pieces displayed professionally under proper lighting for the first time ever. I stand nearby in a borrowed dress, watching people browse the gallery. They glance at my section. Keep walking. My stomach sinks with each person who passes without stopping. Maybe Liam made a mistake. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe. A teenage girl stops in front of one of my charcoal pieces, a drawing of a girl staring at her reflection, half of her face in shadow. She stares at it for a long time. I feel this, she whispers to her mom. Like, really feel this. Her mom steps closer, studying the piece. It's quite powerful. More people notice the small crowd forming. They approach. Study my work. Actually look at it. A man in an expensive suit stops in front of my painting of empty chairs around a dinner table, the piece I created right after my family cut me off. This speaks to me, he says to Liam. What's the price? The man, a tech executive named David, buys my piece for $2,000. $2,000. I try not to cry in front of everyone. That's more than a month's rent. More than I've ever been paid for my art. Proof that my work has value beyond my own belief. Liam handles the transaction professionally while I stand there in shock. The evening continues. People ask about my work, about my process, about my inspiration. Some leave business cards. Some take photos. I'm talking to a collector about my technique when I hear a familiar voice. Why is she here? I turn to see Nova standing near the entrance with a group of friends, pointing at me. This is a real gallery. What's she doing showing work here? She's still a student. Liam appears beside me smoothly. Ms. Reyes, welcome. Aria is showing here because she's one of my represented artists. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have collectors to speak with. He guides me away while Nova stands there, speechless and furious. News of my gallery showing spreads through school faster than I expected. Some students congratulate me. Others, Nova's friends mostly, whisper about connections and luck. I ignore them and focus on my work. Then my phone rings. My mother. Aria. We heard about your art sale. $2,000. That's wonderful. How did you hear about that? It was mentioned in the local arts newsletter online. We're so proud of you. Come to dinner Sunday. Let's celebrate together as a family. Something in her voice makes me suspicious, but I agree. Sunday dinner is awkward. Everyone's overly enthusiastic, asking about the gallery, about Liam, about future showings. You know, my father says during dessert, we always knew you had talent. We just wanted to make sure you had backup options, but clearly you're on the right path. We knew you'd make it, my uncle adds. Artists in the family. How exciting. They're rewriting history. Acting like they supported me all along. I eat quietly and leave early, their false pride feeling worse than their original rejection. 3 weeks later, Liam calls with news that stops my heart. Aria, I have something significant to discuss. Can you come to the gallery? I rush over, thinking the worst, maybe he's canceling my space, maybe someone complained about my work, maybe. A major collector saw your piece at the show, Liam says when I arrive. She wants to commission a custom work from you. A commission? Yes. Large scale, 48 by 60 inches. She wants it to reflect the moment the artist almost gave up but chose to continue. Very personal, very emotional. He pauses. She's offering $500,000. I sit down before I fall down. Did you say 500,000? Yes. She's serious. But she needs it in 10 days. Can you do it? 10 days. To create something worthy of $500,000. To pour my soul onto canvas under impossible pressure. Yes, I hear myself say. I can do it. I clear my entire schedule. Call out of work. Skip classes. Lock myself in my tiny attic studio with canvas, paint, and memories of every moment I almost quit. The piece demands everything. The dinner table mockery, the scholarship destruction, the rejection letters, the late nights crying, the moment I found Grandma Rose's note. I paint for 16 hours straight. Sleep for 4. Repeat. My hands cramp. My eyes burn. But the painting grows, layers of pain and triumph, shadow and light, despair and hope. On day 7, 3 days before the deadline, I wake up to water dripping on my face. A pipe has burst in the ceiling. Water pours directly onto my canvas. I scream and try to move it, but the damage is done. Entire sections are ruined, paint running, colors bleeding together, hours of work destroyed. I collapse on the floor and sob. There's no way to finish in time now. No way to recreate what's been destroyed. This was my chance, and it's gone. Liam arrives an hour later after I call him in hysterics. He assesses the damage calmly. It's not as bad as you think, he says. Half the painting is ruined. Half the painting needs to be repainted. With 3 days left, that's possible. He meets my eyes. The question is, do you quit or do you finish? I think about my grandmother's note. About every person who told me I couldn't. About the family dinner where they laughed. I finish. We work together salvaging what we can. I repaint the damaged sections with new intensity, channeling the crisis itself into the work. The water damage becomes part of the story, visual chaos transformed into intentional effect. 2 days. 1 day. Hours. On the final night, with thunder shaking my attic windows, I add the last brushstroke. The painting is done. And it's better than I imagined. The private viewing happens in Liam's gallery on a Thursday evening. Just the collector, her assistant, Liam, and me. The painting stands on an easel, covered by a cloth. My heart pounds as Liam removes the cover. The collector, an elegant woman in her 60s named Catherine Mercer, steps forward to study the painting. Silence. Long, agonizing silence. I feel faint. What if she hates it? What if I misunderstood what she wanted? What if? It's perfect, Catherine says softly. I exhale for the first time in minutes. The pain here. She points to the darker sections. The hope here. The transformation in the center. This is exactly what I asked for and more than I expected. Exceptional work, Ms. Cole. She turns to her assistant. Draw up the contract. Half an hour later, I'm signing paperwork for $500,000. Cameras flash. Catherine insists on documentation for her collection records. Liam shakes my hand. You're officially one of my gallery's most successful emerging artists. I'm 20 years old and I just sold a painting for $500,000. The news breaks fast. Local arts publications feature the story. Social media picks it up. Within 48 hours, my name is trending in regional art circles. Local student breaks records with $500,000 commission sale. Ravenshore Institute artist becomes overnight success. From rejected portfolio to $500,000 painting. My phone explodes with notifications. Messages from classmates, congratulations from professors, interview requests from bloggers and local news. And dozens of messages from my family. My mother, Aria. We saw the news. We're so proud. Come home, let's celebrate. My father, this is incredible. We always knew you had it in you. My uncle, see? Good things happen when you work hard. We believed in you. Each message rewrites history a little more, pretending they supported me all along. Nova sends a message too, congrats. Guess you got lucky with the right connections. I block her and focus on responding to legitimate opportunities, gallery inquiries, collaboration requests, commission interest. My parents show up unannounced at Liam's gallery during my next show. A proper exhibition featuring my work and 3 other emerging artists. They arrive overdressed and loud, hugging me in front of everyone like we're the closest family in the world. This is our daughter, my mother tells a group of collectors. We've supported her artistic journey since she was a little girl. Always knew she was special. We sacrificed a lot to get her here, my father adds. But it was worth it to see her succeed. I watch them work the room, telling people how proud they are, how they always believed, how they encouraged my dreams. Liam notices my discomfort. Are those your parents? Technically. Should I ask them to leave? No. Let them stay. They're guests like everyone else. My mother overhears. Guests? Aria, we're your parents, not guests. Then act like parents, I say quietly. Parents who show up before the success, not after. Her smile falters. After the exhibition, my family insists on taking me to dinner. I agree, mostly out of curiosity about what they'll say. At the restaurant, they're effusive with praise, talking about the gallery, the paintings, the prices, my bright future. Then my father drops the real reason we're here. You know, Aria, you're making real money now. Serious money. It might be time to think about investments, property, long-term planning. Okay. Your Uncle Richard is actually a financial consultant. He could help you manage your earnings, make sure you're making smart decisions with all this money. For a fee, of course, my uncle adds quickly. Family discount, naturally. There it is. They don't want to celebrate my success. They want to profit from it. I already have a financial advisor, I lie smoothly. Liam connected me with someone who specializes in artist finances. My father's face tightens. Well, I'm sure they're qualified, but family should help family. We deserve to be part of your success story after everything we've. After everything you've what? I interrupt. After you cut off my college fund? After you called my dreams a silly hobby? After you laughed at me at the dinner table? The restaurant goes quiet around us. Aria, we were trying to protect you. No. You were trying to control me. There's a difference. I stand up, placing cash on the table for my meal. You're welcome to be proud of me. But you don't get to rewrite history. And you definitely don't deserve credit for success you tried to prevent. I pull out my phone and open an old email, the one from 2 years ago where they officially cut off my college fund. We cannot support a childish fantasy that will ruin your future, I read aloud. You're on your own until you make responsible choices. Remember that email, Dad? His face goes pale. My mother looks away. I kept it. Along with the text messages saying I'd fail. The voicemails saying I'd come crawling back. I kept all of it. Not for revenge, for clarity. So I'd never forget what it felt like to be completely alone. You're exaggerating, my mother says weakly. We were concerned parents. That's all. Concerned parents don't laugh at their child's dreams. Supportive parents don't cut off funding to force compliance. Loving parents don't show up after success claiming they always believed. I put my phone away. I'm doing well now. Really well. And I'll probably keep succeeding. But it won't be because of you. It'll be despite you. Remember that. I leave them sitting there in silence, finally understanding they have no place in my story unless I choose to give them one. 6 months later, I move into a proper studio apartment, large windows, dedicated art space, room to breathe and create. I invite one person to the housewarming, Grandma Rose's sister, my great-aunt Helen, who supported me quietly throughout everything. Grandma would be so proud, Aunt Helen says, tears in her eyes. She always knew you were special. We hang Grandma's note in a frame on my studio wall, paint the world as only you see it. My parents and the rest of my family hear about the move through social media. They're not invited. They don't visit. But they watch from afar, realizing too late that their approval means nothing to me anymore. 1 year after the $500,000 sale, I unveil my newest piece at Liam's gallery for a major exhibition. The painting is massive, 6 feet tall, the largest I've ever created. It's titled The Laughing Table. The scene depicts a family dinner, figures sitting around a table, faces obscured but body language clear. One figure stands apart, holding something bright and golden that illuminates her face while the others sit in shadow. It's the night my family laughed at my dreams, transformed into art. When my family sees it, they came uninvited, their faces fall. The crowd erupts in praise. Critics call it powerful. Collectors inquire about price. Catherine Mercer, who commissioned my first major work, offers to buy it for her collection. A journalist asks me about the painting's meaning. It's about the moment I chose myself, I tell her. When people I loved made me feel small, and I decided to become big anyway. Not for them. For me. After the exhibition, my mother approaches me alone. That painting, that was about us, wasn't it? It was about that night at dinner. Yes. We didn't mean to hurt you. Maybe not. But you did. And instead of apologizing when it mattered, you waited until success made it convenient. She's quiet for a long moment. What would it take for you to forgive us? I consider the question honestly. Time. Genuine apology without excuses. And understanding that forgiveness doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. I'm not angry anymore. But I'm not the same girl who needed your approval either. So we're strangers now? No. We're family. Just not close. And maybe that's okay. Maybe we'll fix it someday. Or maybe this is what our relationship looks like now. Either way, I'm okay. I turn back to my exhibition, to the collectors and critics and opportunities that keep coming. My phone buzzes. A message from Liam, another commission offer just came in. This one's for $750,000. Interested? I smile and type back. Very interested. Around me, people admire art I created from pain they can't imagine. Success I built from rejection I'll never forget. My family laughed when I chose art school. They stopped laughing when my paintings sold for $500,000. Now they watch from the sidelines while I create my next masterpiece. And honestly, I don't think about their approval anymore. I'm too busy painting the world as only I can see it, exactly like Grandma Rose told me to. Success isn't revenge. Success is proof that you were right to believe in yourself when no one else did. And sometimes, that's the most powerful art of all. What an incredible journey. Thanks for watching till the end. Please let us know in the comments where you tuned in from. We absolutely love hearing from our amazing global audience. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up if Aria's story inspired you. Share this with someone who's chasing a creative dream despite doubt, and hit that notification bell so you catch all our future stories. Remember, the people who laugh at your dreams today will study your success tomorrow. Keep creating. Keep believing. Keep proving that passion isn't just a hobby, it's a career.